Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So a story came out of Corsicana ISD. Shout out to Navarro County, which is like right down the street from me. But the story is about a assistant principal who got an eye put out by a student. That's a lot to unravel and to get into. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is from news.yahoo.com by way of Austin American Statesman, and it reads, Corsicana ISD assistant principal blind in one eye after student threw hangers and chairs. Now, I remember when the story first came out a few days ago, they was kind of hush-hush about what happened. They just said a faculty member got injured. That's all they said at first. But then as the days went on, and I guess, you couldn't keep it under wraps for too long, all the information came out. So it says an assistant principal from Corsicana may lose an eye after an altercation with a student who threw several chairs and a hanger at her. And you're like, what is going on with these children? They're violent, they're disrespectful, and it's like they have no motive for living or no motive for even care if you live or not. Everybody's angry. Nobody knows how to control emotions. You just want to know just what's going on with these kids. It's a Cassandra Rogers, who serves as assistant principal at Collins Intermediate School, said during a news conference on Tuesday, the assault occurred on August the 15th, about 2 weeks ago almost, just 3 days into the 2004-25 school year. Here are the details of the incident. Texas assistant principal blinded in one eye. During lunch that day, the school's behavioral teacher called administration for assistance. Rogers recounted during the news conference. When I arrived, the teacher and student were outside the classroom. Okay, so back up. They said during lunch that day, the school's behavioral teacher called administration for assistance. So most likely this teacher deals with, like I said, behavioral students, kids on the spectrum, maybe autism, kids who are, could be violent, bad, on medications, whatever the case may be, just not quite. They're the ones that when I was growing up, you separated them from everybody else. Everybody knew they was in the F building, I believe what you would call it in high school when I went to Skyline. So this is not like a regular class. This is not a regular student. Just keep that in mind, because while everyone else is at lunch, these kids were still in class, or this kid was still in class. She says, when I arrived, the teacher and student were outside the classroom. She said one student was the teacher and students were outside the classroom. She said one student was holding his head, having been assaulted by the student remaining in the classroom. That boy should have been in the nurse's office. I entered where the student was still irate and found the room ransacked with overturned furniture. Okay. Sometimes you got to read the room. Everybody else, and I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but I just want to, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. So I'm just going to say what everybody else is thinking. Okay. Pretty much. You got to read the room. Everybody's outside in the hallway. And you got one kid in the class acting a fool. And you as a woman decide to go in there and confront this child. Now, it's not saying if it was a male or a female, but I'm gonna guess it was a guy. And when I continue to read, you're gonna see why. The student, who is a minor and was not identified, then threw several chairs at Rogers before throwing a hanger that hit her eye. Rogers wasn't able to dodge the hanger in the classroom. You remember that movie? What was it called? Was it called Dodgeball? I think it was called. When the old dude was in a wheelchair and he was training them guys, getting ready for the big dodgeball tournament. And this dude threw a wrench at the guy and hit the dude in the head, pretty much knocked him out. And everyone's looking like, what is wrong with you? And he said, if you can't dodge a wrench, You can't dodge a dodgeball. Shit, if you can't dodge a hanger, you can't dodge a dodgeball. But yeah, them hangers, that's a little different than church. Cause church is big, you can see it coming. Now, how in the hell? What'd she say? And through several chairs. So how she dodged the chairs? Maybe she dodged them. I don't know, but she said she couldn't dodge that damn hanger. What you got hangers in the okay? They're probably hanging coats in back class. Okay. She said I couldn't stop it fast enough, she said during the news conference. Following the incident, the paramedics decided that Rogers needs to be airlifted to a hospital for treatment. In a news conference Tuesday, Rogers reported that the incident left her blind in one eye, likely permanently, and mentioned that reconstructive surgery on her eyelid would be necessary. If the blindness is permanent, she added, doctors might have to remove the eye. They said, what happened to the student? After the incident, the student was taken into custody, according to a release from the Corsicana Independent School District. School officials also confirmed in the release that the student has been restricted to a specific location and is not allowed on campus. So here's the thing. Yeah, this kid is on the spectrum one way or another. He's got mental issues. So the question begs, is it child suffering from mental issues, mental illness, or is he just a bad kid that needs to go to juvenile hall or prison? This reminds me of what's it from? Deepa. Remember that the Brendan Deepa story that I brought y'all like a few months ago? Well, a couple of weeks ago, he was sentenced to like 5 years in prison and 15 years probation. Right now, the reading of the production of the story, he's 19. He turned 19 on August the 22nd from what I'm reading. But in this article, this is from the Dayton Beach News Journal. I think this the guy was blogging live while the court case was going on. And it said Brendan Deepa was 17 when a viral video recorded him attacking Joanne Nadick, a paraprofessional at Matanzas High School in the Palm Coast. I'm not going to go into too much detail of the incident that happened, but this pretty much says he faced up to 30 years. He was 17 when it happened. The lowest permissible sentence would have been 34.5 months, which worked out 2.87 years. But I think he's already been locked up for like 17 months. So that's pretty much what he's going to get now. It said Lena Deepa, his adopted mom. Remember, he was staying with adopted family. The adopted mom said, he's been on these medications for the longest. And like all of a sudden he grew from like a little kid to like freaking 6'8" and damn near 300 pounds. And he was uncontrollable, which makes sense when you deal with a child who's on the spectrum I'm a guy who I'm not an advocate for children taking medications, especially mind-altering medications, because they always say the human brain doesn't fully develop until like you're the age of 25. So you give mind of these medications. They always talk about these kids ADHD, won't be still. And I mean, come on, history shows, science shows, nature shows that a lot of these kids need to be outside playing. When they do something bad, they need to be punished. Don't need drugs, they need real food. Now this crap that they feed them all the time, we let these kids eat these freaking noodles and these bottled waters and all these hot chips and crap like that. It's fulfilling and anything with pure sugar, but it's fulfilling, but it's not good for you. And when you're dealing with bodies that are developing, you can't help. Come on now. That it's affecting them somehow. It's affecting them somehow because you're entering things into their DNA, into their genetics, into their, the physical makeup it's foreign to the body. And it's just latching on to the body while it's growing up. So now you're going to have these negative effects. But yeah, I was an advocate of Brendan Deepa. Like I said, I know somebody who is a BCBA and works with kids on the spectrum. And I had them look at his story, his background. And they were like, yeah, they deal with kids like that. These kids, people try to say, oh, if they're autistic, they don't mean they're going to be violent. These kids can be violent. I don't care what nobody say on the outside. They lying to you, because even she said she don't have to deal with these kids having these episodes, and everything got to be politically correct, and you can't say things that hurt people's feelings. Got to make it sound professional, whatever the case may be. Instead of just saying these just badass kids need their butt whooped. So they come up with these plans, these behavioral plans to try to keep the kids calm, and you got to watch, say, hey, this is how you deal with the child. If they act a certain way, this is how you keep their minds, active and occupied, and this, that, and the third. This person has told me, like I said, they have had incidents like physical altercations, and know of staff members who have physical altercations with these children because of the way the children lash out or how they act. And that's part of it. Not saying they all are like that, but when it happens, it can be very, very dangerous in a scary situation. So you got this Brendan Deeper, like I said, this dude like 6'8", down to 300 pounds. And this little white woman who the people who in the know have admitted that they admitted that she went off the plan and suffered the consequences because the school probably didn't give her the proper training. That in reality, she shouldn't have been left alone in the classroom with those kids, not just him, but those kids, period. If there was a plan and she went off the plan and the boy reacted and wasn't going to stop until he deleted the problem or the way it looked. And like I said, when I look at the story, and still to this day, I advocate for him not going to prison, but shoot, y'all messed up. Y'all got to start over. Y'all got to come up with another plan. But to be like in an institution, I mean, hey, I don't know, we got mental hospitals in Texas, like Turl. Dallas got one. I think it's called Green Oaks in Dallas. Got Turl State out there. You got mental places where these people can be. They don't have to be in no prison, locked up like criminals. So that's the way I feel. I feel that, Brother Deeper should be in a place like that. But like I say, his mom said that, he'd been on medication since he was so young. And when they changed the cocktail so much that it's bound to affect the person's body. Think about this. You hear stories of alcoholics, drug addicts, and when they're getting off of it, when they're trying to, wean their way off of it. And a lot of times they do a cold turkey, and the effects, the withdrawal symptoms that they go through, even when you are, let's say you don't have those addictions, but you like probably 90% of us in this country, in this country for sure, on this sad diet, you're addicted to sugar. And you try to wean yourself off of sugar. You go from processed sugar and you try to eat fruits and vegetables. Get rid of all that junk in your cabinets, in your pantries, in your refrigerator. Eat nothing but natural foods. In the beginning, it is hard. You will go through withdrawal so much. You don't realize how addicted you are to sugar and processed foods until it's not there no more. And you can have something else to satisfy your appetite, but it doesn't work. And it takes a while. And then eventually, if you stay strong and diligent, then eventually you'll be off of it. And, it'll be like, hey, so you appreciate food and everything's all right. But in the meantime, like I said, you change, because what you're doing, you're changing the mental makeup, the physical makeup of your body. You are getting rid of something and replacing it with something else, and your body is craving that sugar. Well, you think if you got a child on a bunch of medications and you see it's not working, so you say, okay, well, let's wean them off of this and wean them off of that. Because a lot of them drugs, when you see it, it'll tell you, do not stop this medication cold turkey, because those suicidal thoughts, those homicidal thoughts that you have in the beginning, They will multiply. They'll tell you just, they will multiply. And so you need to wean yourself off of this one while we wean you on to this one, so there won't be the side effects, so we can minimize the side effects, the adverse side effects. And so you're telling a 17-year-old to understand this and know how to deal with this, and know that when they do something that they don't know why they can't stop doing it. It makes no sense at all. So let's get back to it. So like I say, Brendan Deeper, like I said, unfortunately, they sent him to prison. And like I said, I'm not for that. Don't advocate for that. But it is what it is. Let's see what happened to the student. Let's go back to the Corsicana story. Let's see. After the incident, the student was taken to custody according to release from the Corsicana Independent School District. School officials also confirming the release that the student has been restricted to a specific location, not allowed on campus. Like I said, probably to the mental health institute, a juvenile institute, what have you. It said we should never have to be. It said Rogers joined the Corsicana District last semester, while her husband, Eugene Rogers, in his first season. While her husband, Eugene Rogers, is in his first season as a Corsicana High School football coach. So she joined the school district last semester. So hell, she ain't been there a whole year. And first thing you do, you try to go in there, probably didn't understand the situation, probably didn't know how to handle the situation. And you mess around and got your eye put out. During Tuesday's news conference, Rogers said teachers should never fear for their safety. She also criticized Governor Greg Abbott for underfunding Texas public schools. It ain't just Greg Abbott. Like I tell you about the story about Brendan Deeper. It ain't just Greg Abbott. It's probably every state in this dang on country. In Florida, they said that Brendan Deeper, there was a law or a bill put on the ballot to make sure that they have these separate schools for people like the guy the young student who threw these hangers and chairs at the teacher, and Brendan Deeper, and people like that. Give them like more money, more funding to keep them separate from the rest of the classes, right? Rest of the school. So these schools, they can operate, normally with few to little interaction or with little, like interruption, and where teachers can do their jobs. But the way the school was with Brendan Deeper and probably with this school here is these kids are probably taking classes in the same school, same hall with other kids at times. So it creates a problem to where now other kids cannot learn at the speed they need to, because you have to deal with students like this. And what happened in Florida is they introduced a bill, but proposed there'd be like a small little tax put on these citizens, and it was voted down. And so with that happening, then programs got cut, schools got closed. And so now regular private schools have to create space for these children. So now you're putting everybody, let's just say it, in danger. You're just putting everybody in danger because you bring in an element that you already can't control. You probably can barely control when it's separated. Now you're putting it in with everybody else. So like I say, it ain't just Greg Abbott. It's really federal money, because state get their money from the feds when it comes to public education. Y'all do know public education is not a requirement by law. Like, really isn't. It's almost like what they call it. It's an option. They feel obligated to teach the school, to teach these kids, but it's not required by law. But as long as you have these schools, then the feds send you money. That's why they can control how much money they send you. They send these schools. They can say, if you're not teaching this, if you're not teaching this way, if you don't pass this test, we're not sending you no money. That's why schools can easily be shut down. And you have very little to say. What she say? We should never have to fear being in the classroom with an aggressive student. Roger said everyone's protection is paramount. Overly aggressive students need services to meet their needs, but I do not believe the safety of other students and the educational staff should suffer. Exactly. Like I was saying, they used to be separate. Now, because of underfunding, no money for these schools, but they're all trying to create these charter schools and these prep schools and all this other stuff. And they're just like turning their backs on public education, which, I mean, it wasn't so great after all. I mean, hey, I mean, I got through it for the most part, but will it help with private schooling too? Family helping family. Coastal County ISD staff and students pointed up for the privilege of participating in Jeans Day Friday is part of a district-wide fundraiser to benefit the family of Collins Intermediate Assistant Principal Condra Rogers. Oh, that's Twitter pic. My bad. It said Coastal County ISD started a fundraiser to support the cost of Rogers' injuries. There was also a GoFundMe with a goal of $60,000 to help Rogers' medical costs. As of Wednesday morning, the GoFundMe had already more than 320 supporters and raised more than $13,000. Let me see how much. You know me. I'm gonna look up and see how much is that on average. Kimmel, did I click the right button? Yeah. Wait a minute. I think I did. No, I don't think I. Oh, here we go. That's my dumb butt. What do we say? 13,320. 13,000 divided by 320. That's an average of like $40 a person, which is fine. I mean, shoot, hey, if you got $40, everybody don't have $40 to give. So if it's the average of $40, that's good. And that's what I try to tell people about, having things done in your neighborhoods and your community. You ain't got to have big money to do big things. You just got to get everybody together to do it. You get everybody together, anything is possible. But with the underfunding and the violence that these teachers face, you can see why a lot of them wanted to quit. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find this quick article and then I'm trying to find the KView article. Where is it? I saw this. This is from the Austin American Statesman. Also, it said more than 2/3 of Texas teachers want to quit their jobs. Studies find. It said, according to the Texas State Teachers Association, more than half of Texas teachers are considering leaving the job at the end of the 2023-2024 school season. How is that? And this was written 2 weeks ago. 2024 is over. It's the association. Oh, I guess they did last year. The association surveyed 840 members who are educators of the organizations as part of a study in collaboration with Sam Houston State University. The survey found that 65% of teachers considered leaving the profession last spring, according to a press release from the association. Here is what to know about other driving factors. Several factors explain why teachers are quitting. While those surveyed were anonymous, the survey suggests that teachers were not pleased with support for public schools, safety issues, and the wage gap. Now, the wage gap, I can understand it. Even before all these problems arise with teachers having to pay out of pocket for school supplies, teachers getting assaulted by kids on a daily basis, I felt that teachers wasn't paid enough. Matter of fact, if you're looking at the stats, it says that most teachers start out at like $33,000. After 10 years, they earn like $45,000. After 20 years, they have about $54,000, which is nothing. They said the highest salaries are anywhere from $66,000 to $86,000, which is ridiculous. And it also said that there have been like over 100 something bills brought forth to Congress to try to help teachers, give them more pay, give them some kind of help. And every last one of them died on the Senate floor. Well, the legislative floor, which is sad. I can say this, even with say you've been a teacher 20 years and you make $54,540. I can say in a average year, in a regular year, with what I do, I could probably pull double that easy. And that's just on base salary. Now, if I'm doing a bunch of overtime and even working at a side job, doing the same thing somewhere else on the weekends or what have you, I mean, sky's the limit. But I do a lot of making my money and hustling. So you can pay stuff off and trying to get, business to start, to grow with marketing and products and things of this nature and planning and all that kind of stuff. But, you got to steps into that. But anyway, so it's not out of money. Now, I do know that some of the perks of being in the school district is, one, they got pretty good benefits. And two, you get every weekend, every holiday, and every summer off. So you have time to, maybe start a business, do a side hustle, teach during the week, and then be part of do vendor shows on the weekend, sell like turkey legs and things of that nature on the weekend, get a food truck or something like that. So you got the ability to make more money or to do other things while you teach. But to me, teaching, man, money would be nice, but money is not going to fix the problem with these children and these parents also. Because a lot of times the issue is it starts at home. The home is not, come on, we already know the home is not up to par, not really conducive to children learning in the best environment to learn, to make great grades, or this and the third. And they pretty much have they have no chance, very little, no chance. Matter of fact, like I said, I was finna finish, but let me hit one more little thing and then I'll be done. Because I saw this earlier from BuzzFeed. And it said teachers are revealing parenting red flags they notice right away when meeting a parent or a kid for the first time. So it said since teachers interact with kids and parents fairly often, they probably come in contact with thousands of people with good and not so good personalities and behaviors. And so it says they asked the BuzzFeed community, it reached out to teachers, asked them, what are some of the red flags that parents display? And here are some of the answers. One teacher said that one of the red flags, there was a conversation with a parent, and the parent start off with, "We don't believe in." So that means parents, they say, we don't believe in, there's an example, we don't believe in bedtimes. That's great, but your kid is massively sleep deprived. We don't believe in limiting junk food. That's great, but your kid is constipated from a steady diet of goldfish crackers and nothing else. We believe in only using natural products. That's great, but your kid's diaper rash isn't responding to your all-natural organic cream, and you need to see a doctor. It's great to have parenting idea, but your child's needs have to come first. One said, I was a teacher for 15 years and I still work in schools, but now I'm a school behavior specialist. I help keep kids who need behavior management plans. And that's probably Brendan Deeper. He had a management plan, behavior plan. It wasn't followed. He attacked this woman. Now he's going to prison. And you know the first thing they said they're going to do? A mental evaluation so they can create a behavioral management plan. I give up. I give up. They say there are a lot of parenting red flags that I see, but the biggest one, especially for young kids, is when they have no idea how to self-soothe or find comfort when upset. When given the option to come to a calm down room or a counselor's office to talk about their feelings, there are some kids who have no idea how to do that. I ask them how they calm down at home, and always, without fail, they'll tell me that mom or dad lets them watch TV or go on a device when they're sad or mad. When I was a kid, and you acted a fool in front of your parents, they shut that down immediately. Not with a cell phone device, not watching TikTok or any kind of TV. They got in your tail. And you're going to shut down eventually. And you're going to learn how to control your emotions one way or another. You'll sit there and you'll figure it out. It takes time. There's no, if anything, that's the problem with people don't understand. Just because it fixes the situation at the time does not mean it fixes the problem. Something that works real quick with little to no effort, most of the time does not have a good long-term outcome. Alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, half a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, or a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, a cell phone with that you can go on there and look on videos and stuff, Roblox. These comforting measures will not fix the problem. What you have to do, they'll fix your issue right then and there. Like, oh man, I'm tired of this kid. Here, watch this and go leave me alone. You can talk all as nice as you want and say, I'm looking out for my kid and this is what soothes them. No, that's what soothes you. That's what makes your job easy. Instead of you getting up, putting in the work, making sure you understanding your child and how to deal with them in order to make them learn how to control themselves. Because when they become 17, like Brother Deeper, or this kid who threw chairs and hangers at this assistant principal, like I say, with them two, again, they're probably on medications, got all kind of problems. But that also started at home and with doctors when first thing they tell your kid, oh, your kid is active, won't be still. Give them drugs. No, put them outside and let them run around for a while. Forget that mess. Remember back in the day when we went to school, you get to school early enough, you're outside playing with your friends on the playground. Do they even let kids do that nowadays? Or they make them come straight in the building and they go to the cafeteria to eat breakfast? I don't think they let kids play outside no more anymore. I don't think I've seen that lately. Matter of, I ain't even thought about that. Anyway, we be outside in the morning playing with our friends before school starts. Go in, get lesson. Might have PE after a while. Go to PE, run around, you know what I'm saying? Burn off steam, whatever you got to do. Burn off all the energy, back in class. Lunchtime, to give you time to eat. And then you go outside for recess. Recess, remember, had a whole cartoon series called Recess. Go outside for recess. That's over. Come back in, do some learning. Down, end of the day, bell rings. You either walking home or you can be outside playing on the swings and stuff, or playing basketball at the school until your mama get you, or you catch a bus or whatever the case may be, but you're doing something. Then you get home. Now it's time for homework. Then you might play with your friends or whatever. But the key is there was a balance. It wasn't just go straight into class, sit down for 8 classes. Then we had like 8. No, we had 8 classes. I think now they dropped it down to like 8 classes, but it's like 4 every day. We had 8 classes. We each class like 45 minutes to an hour or whatever, you know. But now they got it down like 4 classes a day in the class for damn near 2 hours. That, man, would drive me crazy to sit somewhere for 2 hours and I couldn't sleep or take a nap or get up and do something. I hated that in college. But anyway, it happened more and more that these cases, and then these very young children have no idea how to process their emotions. I said another one, elementary teacher here, parent communication is super important with the little people. When a parent responds to 0 of my attempted communication or gives me a number that is out of service, which happens all the time, it's a huge red flag. It'll most likely be that way the entire year, no matter what is going on with their student. To me, that means they see schools/teachers as free childcare and usually don't care about the rest, like the well-being or education of the child. What they're probably doing is working nights. Kids are home by themselves during nighttime because they figure, well, I'll go to work, kid be asleep. Yeah, right. Now, I really understand them. Kids might wake up at midnight, got to go pee, get hungry, do things that they ain't got no business. Then in the daytime, when the kids at school, mama sleep. So the phone is off. They don't want to be disturbed. Kids at school, they happy, got a, you know what I'm saying? They got a free daycare. I remember being a softball coach. That's one thing I hated is when parents drop their kids off and take off before we even got practice started. not knowing if I'm ending practice early, what if something come up in my family and I gotta leave, somebody get hurt and they gotta take them to the hospital or something like that and y'all gone. There actually was a player who I had to end practice early that day. And that was a goal before I even started practice. Next thing I know, boom, this woman dropped her daughter off and was gone. Didn't say hi, bye, nothing. Like let out the car and left. And we were talking about softball outside. Not like these places where they got these UIL, facilities where, you drop your kid off and drop the kid off. Now I ain't talking about like high school. I'm talking about like little kids. High school kids, yeah, drop their ass off and gone. Because they grown enough to figure it out. One of their friends got a phone or a car to drive. They rolling in anyway. We talking about young kids, second, third, fourth grade, elementary kids. And, and bottom line, I told everybody, hey, we ending practice early today. So we got to get a good hour in and that's it. This one lady say she left, could not find a phone, didn't answer, call. Then the little girl called her daddy, who was like in a whole other city, who ended up calling calling the son or somebody else in the family. And we ended up dropping the kid off there. Now, unfortunately, that's our responsibility. So it's quite possible we dropped her off over somebody who she wasn't supposed to have been over. But the problem is, parent, we couldn't get in contact with you. So that created an issue. That's not how it's supposed to go. You should give a damn about your kid enough to know that every time something happens and that phone rings, you better answer. If you can't answer, you better call right back. If you miss a call, that may be the only reason why you don't answer that phone. Only, you at work sometime, but it said, another one of the major red flags when parents laugh off, down, or downplay a bad behavior that a child displays, but get outraged when another child does the same behavior to the child. I've seen that where a kid be bullying somebody, beating up on little kids. And then when somebody hit them back, now the parent got a problem. And the problem's been addressed. Now all of a sudden you got an issue. No. When your kid was acting up and my child wasn't doing anything, you had nothing to say. So when I told my child to pimp slap your kid, next time they look at you, look at them funny, now you got a problem. I'm sorry. And they talk about a boy who had bad behaviors. They say the only way that he could deal with it is they gave him another device. It said, I'm a high school teacher. The biggest issue I have is when seniors barely come to class anymore. And when I try to talk to their parents about the attendance issues, I get told attendance only matters. Wait a minute. What is that? Let's turn that off. The heck? What that? It said, my fault. It said attendance only matters. I get told attendance only matters to the school because that's how you get paid. No, sorry. Attendance matters because little Johnny is failing all of his classes because he's never here. Just because your kid is a senior doesn't mean they've graduated high school. It say when parents come in there to fight disputes and kids don't come to them directly first so they can talk about it. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to raise an adult. Trying to raise a kid to be an adult, they got to learn how to, deal with their own problems. Oh, and the other one is, this is the last one I read, but I've seen this happen too, where parents know their kids are sick, give them Tylenol, drop them off. And then when the school calls and say your child is sick, and then the nurse's station, you act surprised. I hate that. I've seen it happen with people I know. And it's like, man, if the child is sick, why in the hell you stay? It's one reason why I say it's kind of hard for, I'm going to say mothers, single parents for sure, but mothers to get into corporate America and have to work in this society. Now, I ain't saying you can't make money because you can go out and I think women should gear their money-making skills more to like starting their own business than to actually working in corporate America when you have children. Now, you go to school, learn something, and then you get into a field to get more experience, to get the knowledge of actually dealing with people in the training that you have. And in order for you to somehow start your own business to where you can dictate, you know, how you make money, when you make money, so you won't neglect your children and do things like put everybody else at risk because somebody in your family, like this example here is somebody in your family had COVID, your child got a fever, you give them Tylenol or something, send them to school, and then, you know, 2 hours later, child looking like they're about to pass out and die. And then they got this low grade fever, and they try to get in contact with you and they can't, or, you know, or you don't answer the phone, or you act surprised that the child is sick when the child been like, the child gonna tell the truth. Child gonna tell the nurse, hey, I was sick on the way here. I threw up last night. I've been having, you know, pooping all over myself all night. But you're gonna go to school and act like, what? Didn't know what the heck you talking about? Didn't know that happened. You didn't tell me. No. Ain't nobody falling for that. But and I blame a lot of it on like the jobs that you choose. Cause unfortunately, it's a lot of times why women make a little less money. It's why a lot of times women don't get the benefit and people don't feel sorry for them because, I mean, you chose to have a child, you chose to have a career, but it's hard. It's hard doing it. Even as men, you can be married men or whatever, or whatever. You can be a married man or be a father. And something happened to the kid and the kid is sick. Well, hey, it's naturally easy to say, hey, mom, go pick him up, take him home, and you take care of him while I sit out here and work. Because if it come down to it, it's better for you to lose your job than for me to lose my job. But again, like I say, virtuous wife, she made sure the home was taken care of, but she still went out, made money. But, she made clothes and this and the third, went to the village, made money from what she, made money off the stuff that she was selling. And she used that money to buy things that she wanted, stuff like that. So that's all. I just think, like I say, it's probably best for a woman to, I think everybody should have their own business, like truthfully, if possible, some way you can make your own money or learn a trade or have a skill or whatever. But for women, for sure, you need to be in some kind of, the way you make money, it should be a way that you can like have flexibility in your schedule. So when something happened with the children or the kids, you can just easily up and jump and go take care of them. But anyway, that's all I have for this story today. I know I went through a lot. I actually wanted to break it up into, I was going to have maybe 3-4 different videos on all these topics because I could have went way, way more deep in depth into every last one of them. But as I was talking, I'm like, hey, boom, let me just go ahead and pull this. And then boom, let me just go ahead and pull this. And hey, it ended up to being one little episode. So it's cool. I think this worked out for the best for everybody. But anyway, tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. I thank y'all for watching for sure. Hey, if you want to support monetarily, you can always get super thanks, super chats, or go to the description box. The links there you can click on and you can help support that way. That way I can try, I can invest into the channel more to create better content, equipment, this and the third, do more in the community, whatever I'm able to do. Like I said, I appreciate it. But if you want to support non-monetarily, you can always like, share, comment, and subscribe, all 4 ways. It costs you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but that means the world to us here. For sure, like I say, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, don't forget to go to marlonmorale.com. That's marlonmorale.com, where you get 10% off your first purchase, where we got perfumes, silks, hanging toiletry bags, handbags for the ladies, beard products, etc. Go to marlonmorale.com. Link is in the description box. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.